Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about SCP-06, 07, 010, 011, 012, 013, 017, 015, and 014. Under direct orders of the Founder, access is limited to those with Overseer clearance.
Overseer clearance granted.
Item number, SCP-06, Object Class, Safe, Fountain of Youth, Special Containment Procedures. Whereas the nature of SCP-06 does not warrant any extensive containment, a certain level of secrecy is necessary regarding the object's existence and properties, for obvious reasons. The following procedures are required not for personnel safety, but to deny or hide knowledge of SCP-06's effects from the personnel who interact with it. 1. All personnel interacting with SCP-06 in any physical way are required to wear modified Class VIB-NC suits. Before personnel are allowed to perform procedures, they must be briefed with material SCP-06-B or SCP-06-C. SCP-006 briefing is the correct one, and is restricted to only those with O5 clearance. To ensure personnel are wearing suits properly, they are to be submerged into a pool of water. Any air bubbles spotted signify a leak in the suit. 2. Procedures with SCP-06 are to be carried out under extreme surveillance. In case of contact with SCP-06, the commander in charge will announce Procedure 06I-12, which the personnel have been briefed to believe to mean high toxicity is present and they must evacuate. 3. Any procedure in which liquid is acquired from SCP-06 must be approved by 3305 level personnel. The liquid is to be transferred in a quad-sealant container and under armed guard. 4. If at any time personnel come into contact with SCP-06 or liquid from SCP-06, they are to be confined and terminated after sufficient studies are done. Due to the nature of SCP-06, the most effective termination method is incineration. For full report, see file SCP-06-5. Description: SCP-06 is a very small spring located 60 kilometers west of Astrakhan. Foundation Command was aware of its existence since the 19th century, but were unable to secure it until 1991 due to political reasons. On the spot of the spring, a chemical factory has been constructed as a disguise, with the majority of laborers under Foundation and/or Russian control. The liquid emitted from the spring has been chemically identified as simple mineral water in 1902, but has the unusual property of health. Ingesting the liquid produces the following properties in human beings: the ability to regenerate DNA damaged by sufficient duplication, heightened excitement of cellular duplication, vastly improved abilities in the repair of damaged tissue, and a frightening increase in the effectiveness of the human immune system. Upon testing the liquid on animal subjects, hostile bacteria and viral agents were destroyed immediately. Many reptiles and birds were unaffected, while higher primates experienced the same benefits as humans. Item number, SCP-007. Object Class, Euclid, Abdominal Planet. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-07 is to be contained in a sealed room measuring 10 meters on each side. Room is to be furnished comfortably as a living area, along with whatever items are requested by hereafter referred to as subject, given that providing subject with requested items would not compromise security. Subject is not to be allowed to leave the room, and is to be detained with force if necessary. Description: SCP-07 is located within a cavity in the abdomen of subject. Subject is a Caucasian male. Physically approximately 25 years of age. Subject claims to be 28 and 176 centimeters in height. Most of subject's abdomen muscles, skin, and organs is absent, though subject does not appear to suffer because of this. Instead of normal flesh, a sphere composed of soil and water is present, though it does not actually come into contact with subject's body at any point. The sphere appears to be, in most respects, a miniature near duplicate of the Earth, approximately 60 centimeters in diameter, although continental alignment is not consistent with that of any alignment known in Earth's history. The sphere has its own weather patterns and negligible gravitational pull, in addition to microscopic organisms somewhat resembling those of modern-day Earth inhabiting it. 2 intelligent species have been observed, though contact and communication with either has yet to be made. Technology levels of observed species must be checked at least once a week, and as of are approximately equal to that of 15th century Earth. Subject claims to be named, but no records of such a person can be found. Subject does not require food or water, and while he has been observed consuming both, what happens to such substances after being swallowed is unknown. Subject is intelligent. IQ has been measured at 128 and amiable, and regards the planet in his abdomen as a minor curiosity about his body. Subject seems to experience no stress about his unusual condition. When questioned about planet's origins, Subject replied, "I just woke up one day, and there it was. I don't have any idea how it got there." Subject has provided a social security number and driver's license number and requested that they be checked against known records. When checked, it was discovered that neither had yet been allocated. Dr. has a weekly chess game with Subject, during which Subject's mental health is evaluated. Dr. reports that Subject does not seem to mind the restricted living environment, and has yet to attempt to escape or show signs of violence or mental illness, though he has repeatedly requested a computer with an internet connection. It is recommended that this not be provided, as it may be used to compromise security. Item number SCP-010. Object Class Safe. Collars of Control. Special Containment Procedures. The objects comprising SCP-010 are to be kept in numbered log boxes at Site-19. They are not to be worn except by test subjects. SCP-010 are only to be removed from storage for testing. Description: SCP-010 consists of a series of 6 apparently identical cast iron collars with numbered metal tags, and one remote control. The control is SCP-001. The collars are SCP-0102 through 0107. The collars contain intricate electronic components and are powered by small 5mm diameter, 2mm thick 100 volts batteries. These batteries are rechargeable. The remote is a heavy black box resembling an old-style handheld radio transmitter or receiver with a primitive blue or white cathode ray screen and a series of more than 100 unlabeled buttons, as well as a frequency tuner. Through trial and error, the frequencies of all 6 currently found collars have been discovered. A label in Russian is stamped into the metal along with a logo consisting of workers building a pyramid. No official Russian corporation or government agency uses this logo or matches the words stamped into the metal. Placing the collar around the neck of a person and securing it allows one to control their every movement with the remote. It is also capable of producing an adrenal response and activating or deactivating the sympathetic nervous system. The most abnormal feature of the collars is the effect they have on the body morphology. They allow the user of the remote to reconfigure the shape of the victim to an extent that is apparently only limited by the knowledge of the programming language of the remote. Addendum 101. History. SCP-010 was discovered in the basement of a lone man in the Midwestern United States after a local disappearance was connected to him. When the police raided the man's house, they found SCP-010 as well as several dead bodies. One of the bodies was identified to be the man. The others were several other missing persons. Cause of death seemed to be mass suicide. However, there were signs of significant struggle first. Addendum 102. Disassemble experiment. Test 1. SCP-0102 taken apart piecewise. The parts labeled and several photographs taken, then reassembled. Result: after reassembly, SCP-0102 continues to function. Test 2. SCP-0108 constructed identically to SCP-0102 but with the closest approximations available to the unreplicable components. Result: SCP-0108 fails to function. Test 3. Unreplicable components from SCP-0102 placed into proper locations on SCP-0108. Result: SCP-0102 ceases functioning with removal of components. SCP-0108 begins functioning. Test 4. Components return to SCP-0102. Replicable components in SCP-0102 replaced randomly with replicates. Result: SCP-0102 begins functioning with return of components. Changing replicable components for replicas does not significantly reduce functionality. Replacement of a damaged transistor decreased time from transmission to effective SCP-0102 response to commands entered in a remote by 12%. Addendum 103. SCP-010 has been demonstrated to work more effectively in creating unskilled labor than for any other task. The logo is apt. Doctor. Item number SCP-011. Object Class Safe. Sentient Civil War Memorial Statue. Special Containment Procedures. Item SCP-011 and the area surrounding it are to be cleaned once every day. For safety purposes, cleaning should start at least 30 minutes after sundown. Cleaning should always be performed by at least 2 personnel, who are also advised to note anything unusual about the item or the debris cleaned up. In a situation where the item cannot be cleaned for more than 2 days, local residents must be contacted and instructed not to approach the item. Containment Procedures Nullify 2004. Description: SCP-011 is a Civil War memorial statue located in Woodstock, Vermont. The statue is the image of a young male soldier holding a musket at his side, and is carved out of granite quarried within the area. Occasionally, SCP-011 has been observed lifting its musket to the sky to fire at birds which attempt to land or defecate on it. Reports detail that its movements produce soft grinding sounds, but do not cause it any structural failure. Oddly, the gunfire is very similar to that of a standard firearm, despite observations that the item only loads granite bullets and granite powder into the musket, which is also unharmed by the firing. In spite of its efforts, some fecal matter does manage to strike SCP-011, and it has reportedly become distressed when it has had a large amount of feces on it, on some rare occasions even firing at humans. Addendum: those assigned to maintain SCP-011 are to see document #011-1 for instructions. Document #011-1 Maintenance Brief. Document Archive 2004 accessible to personnel with security clearance 2011 or higher. Additional information: SCP-011's seeming sentience has increased since the first report of activity in 1995. As of 2004, the item's containment procedures have been dropped, but it remains under constant observation. Recorded below are landmark events in its activity. Timeline: 3/12. 1995 Woodstock resident reports the statue's eyes moving. First sign of activity 9/30. 1995 statue shoots musket for the first time 10/9. 1995 statue begins shooting birds from the sky 1/25. 1996 registration as SCP-011. Containment procedures begin. April 14, 1997 SCP-011 observed moving casually and looking around 53:200 after caretaker jokingly shouts, "Good shot," to SCP-011. The item replies, "Thank you," in a reportedly very human voice. First speech from statue. October 22, 2001 SCP-011 has conversation with caretaker. 201 shooting of bird stops. 26202. The imploring of SCP-011 steps down from its pedestal. 20320 for SCP-011 reaches a human level of self-awareness. November 10, 2004 Containment procedures dropped. Custody of SCP-011 transferred to May 17, 2005 reports that SCP-011 is romantically attracted to her. 8/29/206 Most recent psych test reports an IQ of 133. Item number SCP-012. Object Class Euclid. A bad composition. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-012 is to be kept in a darkened room at all times. If the object is exposed to light or seen by personnel using a light frequency other than infrared, remove personnel for mental health screening and immediate physical. Object is to be encased in an iron-shielded box, suspended from the ceiling with a minimum clearance of 2.5 meters 8 feet from the floor, walls, and any openings. Description: SCP-012 was retrieved by archaeologist K.M. Sandoval during the excavation of a northern Italian tomb destroyed in a recent storm. The object, a piece of handwritten musical score entitled On Mount Golgotha, part of a larger set of sheet music, appears to be incomplete. The red or black ink, first thought to be some form of berry or natural dye ink, was later found to be human blood from multiple subjects. The first personnel to locate the sheet Site 19 Special Salvage had 2 members descend into insanity, attempting to use their own blood to finish the composition, ultimately resulting in massive blood loss and internal trauma. Following initial investigations, multiple test subjects were allowed access to the score. In every case, the subjects mutilated themselves in order to use their own blood to finish the piece, resulting in subsequent symptoms of psychosis and massive trauma. Those subjects who managed to finish a section of the piece immediately committed suicide, declaring the piece to be impossible to complete. Attempts to perform the music have resulted in a disagreeable cacophony, with each instrumental part having no correlation or harmony with the other instruments. Item Number SCP-013 Object Class Safe Blue Lady Cigarettes Special Containment Procedures SCP-013 are to be kept in a secure storage vault at Site 66. Exposed subjects are to be monitored for differences between their symptoms. Exposed subjects are to be interviewed daily, and any changes in perception are to be logged. Description: SCP-013 is the collective designation of 240 cigarettes which display similar anomalies. The most common external detail between instances is the presence of the words Blue Lady handwritten on each cigarette in blue ink. Subjects who consume the contents of SCP-013 through inhalation will begin to perceive themselves as a specific unidentified woman. Subjects have described the woman to be aged between 25 and 35 years old, standing approximately 1.6 meters tall with an estimated weight of between 50 and 55 kilograms. Additional recurring details include cropped dark hair, blue eyes, and bright blue lipstick. Immediately after consuming an instance of SCP-013, subjects will gradually begin to perceive reflections of themselves as having the features of the woman, and will gradually perceive their bodies changing to reflect her appearance over the course of the following weeks. All changes are entirely mental. The subject's body does not change outwardly, only their perception of themselves. These alterations are permanent and cannot be reversed. SCP-013 was discovered after the suicide of an Ian Miles, packed in a large cardboard crate in his apartment. A cursory search of the apartment uncovered several hundred sketches of a figure strongly resembling the one perceived while under 013's effect. Miles' body had been found sitting at a desk, dead of a massive overdose, and draped over a handwritten note, transcribed below. During the investigation of Miles' apartment, one civilian investigator became affected by 013's effect. An embedded agent soon contacted the nearest site. The subject, the artifact, and related evidence were extracted and contained. Currently, 217 instances of SCP-013 cigarettes are contained at Biosite 66. 25 SCP-013 cigarettes are contained at Research Sector 09, pending future research into similar anomalous effects. Addendum. Below is the note which was acquired along with SCP-013. I see her everywhere. That's that Blue Lady. I feel like I know her, but I can't remember. I love her, but I don't know why. She's so beautiful and sweet and clear, but I don't know anymore. Her favorite flavor, where did you go? I miss you. Item Number SCP-017 Object Class Keter Shadow Person Special Containment Procedures SCP-017 is contained in an acrylic glass cage, 100 cm by 50 cm by 50 cm, centrally suspended in a concrete room measuring 6 meters by 6 meters by 4 meters. Attached to the walls, ceiling, and floor of the room are high-intensity arc lamp spotlights pointed directly at the acrylic cage, to ensure that SCP-017 is constantly exposed to light from every angle. Personnel assigned to the SCP-017 control room are to monitor the functionality of the spotlights and the emergency generator system and call for maintenance immediately upon knowledge of a burnt-out lamp or an issue with the generator. The only circumstance under which personnel are allowed entrance is to replace lapse. Personnel entering the room are required to wear the designated full-body reflective suits and must be cautioned not to step in front of functional spotlights. Description: SCP-017 is a humanoid figure approximately 80 centimeters in height, anatomically similar to a small child, but with no discernible identifying features. SCP-017 seems to be composed of a shadowy, smoke-like shroud. No attempt to find any object beneath the shroud has been successful, but the possibility has not been ruled out. SCP-017's reaction to shadows cast upon it is immediate and swift. SCP-017 leaps at the object casting the shadow and completely encloses it in its shroud, whereupon it returns to its normal size, leaving no trace of the object behind. Additional notes: personnel with beta clearance or higher should see also document #017-1. Item Number: SCP-015. Object Class: Euclid. Pipe Nightmare. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-015 is impossible to move and is contained on site. A gap of at least 2 meters 6 feet needs to be maintained around the entire structure containing SCP-015 at all times, and no structures of any kind are to make contact with SCP-015's current containment structure. Exploration is permissible, but only in teams of 3 with full safety lines and GPS tracking. Any protrusions from SCP-015 must be capped and sealed immediately, with the new site recorded and logged. No aggressive action is to be made within SCP-015. No hand or power tools are allowed anywhere inside SCP-015. No repairs or maintenance are to be made anywhere on SCP-015. Description: SCP-015 is a mass of pipes, vents, boilers, and other various plumbing apparatus completely filling a warehouse in. The pipes appear to grow when not under observation, attempting to connect to nearby structures via sewer systems and underground plumbing. SCP-015 contains, at current estimate, over 190 kilometers 120 miles of pipes, ranging in diameter from 2.5 centimeters to over 1 meter. Some pipes appear new, while others are rusted and leaking. Pipes have been reported as being made of bone, wood, steel, pressed ash, human flesh, glass, and granite. No pipes composed of lead, PVC plastic, copper, or any other traditional material for the production of pipes have been found. SCP-015 reacts to tools and aggression. Any personnel acting violently, carrying tools, or attempting to damage or repair SCP-015 in any way will trigger a reaction. Any pipes near the subject will burst, spraying on the subject for several seconds before the flow suddenly stops. Pipes have been reported containing oil, mercury, rats, a species of insect not yet identified, ground glass, seawater, entrails, and molten iron. Pipes will continue to burst around the subject until death or retreat. SCP-015 was cut back to its current structure after attaching to 11 other structures in the area. Currently, 11 personnel have been killed, and 20 more are still missing. Reports have been made of banging and screaming coming from within SCP-015. Item Number: SCP-014. Object Class: Safe. The Concrete Man. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-014 is to be kept inside, in a chair with arms, preferably facing a window. Music should be supplied on a regular basis, preferably constantly. This music should not include pieces originating after 1937. A security camera should be present in SCP-014's room. Description: SCP-014 is a Caucasian male, appearing to be approximately 30 years of age, with black hair, brown eyes, and a somewhat round face. Records indicate his name to be Robert Chetford, confined in 1915 to the Norwich Asylum in Connecticut for delusional insanity, claiming that he had been cursed to live forever and was slowly turning into concrete in consequence. The asylum closed in 1937, and the patients were transferred to various other facilities. SCP-014 came to Foundation attention in 19 from rumors of a patient who seemed to be entirely immobile and showed no signs of aging. Further investigation determined that acquisition was warranted. SCP-014 is to all outward appearances a normal man, but he does not appear to age and shows no signs of possessing a metabolism. He does not eat, drink, perspire, or in any other way demonstrate life functions. He breathes only to speak, and apart from his eyes and vocal apparatus, is to all appearances utterly immobile. He has never shown any evidence of pressure ulcers despite his position not having varied for several decades. Neither do his muscles appear atrophied. Addendum. Note. Frankly, were I to interview this man without knowing his history, I'd think he was a perfectly sane and well-adjusted individual who happens to be quadriplegic. As it is, I have to conclude that he is the ultimate proof of the idea that the mind rules the body. He thinks he's concrete and will live forever, and so he's as close to both as he can be. Somehow Dr. Thanks for watching and listening, and I hope you liked it. Remember to subscribe and like. Have a good day, good night, good evening, or a good morning. Goodbye.